Hey there, welcome to Wellness Blueprints. This is our first episode. I'm so happy that you're here to join me. I am Jess Milner. I'm a functional blood work specialist, clinical nutritionist. I'm studying for my doctorate in natural medicine, and I'm so glad you're here. I know why you're here. You want to take back your health. You're sick and tired of being told that it's totally fine to be sick and tired all the time. And you want to learn more to figure out how you can get through all of this. So, listen, I'm your girl. Like, I've been there and I've learned the things, and I've helped so many clients get to a place where they're not only taking back control of their health, but of their entire lives. And they still have me there as a friend, as a mentor, but they're empowered to do all of these things on their own. And that's what I want to bring to you. So I'm going to be sharing all kinds of all kinds of info. I mean, health related. I love going through blood work so that you can learn how to read your own blood work and figure out what's going on. Uh, there's lots of little secrets in there and everything that are often overlooked because, from a conventional medical standpoint, it doesn't mean anything to look that deep. So, we're going to look a little bit deeper with stuff like that. We're going to work on all kinds of stuff. We're gonna do things like fasting and breathing and trauma. I mean, everybody has some amount of trauma, no matter how amazing your childhood was. You've got something going on. Everybody, because it's a matter of perception. I mean, one person's trauma might be like, well, somebody else will go, oh, it's really no big deal. So it's all a matter of perception. So we never invalidate anything like that. But okay, so today, for this first episode, I just want to kind of go over a little bit about our mindset. You'll always hear me talking about how our spirit body, our vital body, was here before our physical body, and that's true. The physical body is kind of a manifestation of the spirit body. And so we want to make sure that we are nurturing that. And part of that is just like very simple stuff with mindset. So uh, I know that I am super, super guilty of this. So, going through life, I mean, I was a walking pharmacy in my 20s. I mean, like everything was wrong with me. Anything that could be wrong went wrong. If I thought about something hurting, it would start to hurt. So, I would say things like, "Oh, my stomach hates me. I can't eat anything ever," or "It hates me." It would say things like, "Oh, my uterus is so mad at me right now." Like when I had my period, and I was like, having horrible cramps, and like I was, "Oh, my back is so messed up." Things like this that we talk about, and then we start saying things like, "Nothing works for me." And because, you'll go to the doctor and you give this list of symptoms, and you're like, okay, I've got all these symptoms, doc. I'm tired all the time. My back hurts. My periods are unbearable. I can't eat anything without having to go to the bathroom. I'm not able to enjoy my life because of this, And they're like, okay, they run labs. And then they go, okay, your labs are fine. Now, this was totally me. Got told my labs are totally fine. And then what it turned into was like, okay, well, nothing works for me and I'm just doomed because apparently everything's fine and this is my normal. And, you know, there's a common say, there's a common saying, common doesn't mean normal. Lots of things happen very commonly, but they're not normal. It's an abnormality, and it's the abnormality that is common. So we've all gotten to this point where, we just like expect to be tired all the time. We expect to not sleep through the night. We expect to have the painful periods. We expect to have the hormone roller coasters that, make your family think that you're insane. And sometimes you think that too. So I want to emphasize that we can work together with our bodies. So when you are having these kinds of symptoms, it's your body trying to tell you something. And now I wish I knew then what I know now. However, I'm really glad that I did have to go through what I went through because as I started to figure out how to bring myself back to health, I realized that I had such a passion for this. So I decided to get formal education on it and then work with other people and see that I could help others. So I'm definitely here for a reason. So that's great. If you would have told me when I was going through the thick of it that this was all going to be, I would have been like, oh, shut the hell up. Like, I don't even want to listen. But that's how it is now. But your mindset has a lot to do with it. So, for instance, like I was saying, we're saying things like, oh, my stomach hates me. Well, your stomach doesn't hate you. Your stomach is trying to tell you something. And it may not necessarily be like that specific food, because sometimes, you can just like drink some chicken broth and you're like, oh my gosh, my stomach is killing me. And that shouldn't be happening. So, that's another sign there altogether. But just in general, if you just kind of think of, every single cell in your body is its own living entity. It has its own powerhouse, it's creating its own energy, and you know, they all exist. And so you are really, governing over all of them. You are the God, the universe, the ruler of all of these cells. So let's talk to them. Let's talk to them in a nice way. Remind them, say, oh, you're sending me a symptom. Thank you for letting me know. I know that you remember how to do this. And then we figure out what kinds of tools your body needs to remember. Sometimes you need gentle reminders. So whether that's going to be an herbal or nutritional supplement, whether that's going to be something homeopathic, whether it's just going to be breathing techniques or trying different types of fasting or exercises and stretches. There are so many different avenues that we can go to help, because really what we're trying to do is activate the vagus nerve, which is your parasympathetic nervous system, which is where you rest and digest. And so you recover. When you're stuck in sympathetic, you've got your sympathetic and your parasympathetic. When you're stuck in sympathetic all the time, this fight or flight, your body isn't able to do some of the things like rest properly. So even when you're sleeping, you're not resting. You're waking up. I have an aura ring, so it tells me in the morning, like how well I slept. And, sometimes like you're like, wow, I slept for 8 or 9 hours and I'm still so tired. I just don't feel well. So, you may not be recovering. Your sleep is not recovering you as much. So, there are different things that contribute to all of this. And there are ways to remind your body gently that it knows how to do these things. And I know, like, for some, if you're, still in the thick of feeling all of your symptoms, you could be sitting there going like, "Psh, yeah, right, Jess, like that's never going to work for me." And let me tell you, I was exactly where you are. I completely understand that. I'm telling you, some of the stories that I could sit here and tell you about what I had to go through, um, and then versus where I am now, it's absolutely possible. So, let's start by saying things like, my body knows how to heal. My body rids itself of toxins easily. I absorb what I need from my food and I excrete what I do not need. Things like I recover easily from stress, and I know how to. My body gets good sleep at night. Things like that. Like weight falls off of me easily. That's a big one, right? I used to be a good 70 pounds heavier than I am now, and there was a lot of things going on, and again, all my blood work was normal. They couldn't figure out what was going on, until they started looking at hormones, and they're like, okay, those are a little bit off. But knowing what I know now, there were so many things off, and the doctors aren't catching it. So, I mean, I don't diagnose anything. That's not my game. And I don't, if you have a diagnosis, great. If you don't, I really don't care, because we're going to help you take back control of your health regardless. And it doesn't matter if you have the diagnosis or not. So I mean, I've been doing this for years, looking at blood work, doing muscle testing, helping people with nutritional supplements, with their fitness, with everything, and it's not a one size fits all necessarily, because everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different goal. So some people want to lift heavy weights and gain a lot of muscle. Other people just want to be a healthy weight, and they just want to, move around as much as they should, because it's healthy to do so. Sedentary lifestyle, not the bestest. Some people want to have, a really restrictive diet for a while to cleanse something, or to really focus on something, or it's necessary. And other people don't need to do that. So it can be really individualized. Uh, but I'm going to be here every step of the way. And I want you to know that there is absolutely hope on the other side. You know, It's there. Wherever there is life, there is hope, and we can awaken all of those things that your body has put to sleep. Because, so for instance, this was an analogy that I used all the time. When you're stuck in fight or flight, your parasympathetic nervous system is not igniting properly. It's not switching on. It's kind of like gas pedal and brake pedal. You're not going to hit on both at the same time. It's either or. So when you're stuck in fight or flight, your body's kind of thinking, like, your ancestors, thousands of years ago, that are like running from a saber-tooth tiger or something, right? So when you're running from a big scary monster like that, you don't want to have to stop and like release your bowels, right? So all of that shuts down. So when you're really stressed out all the time, when you have this chronic anxiety, chronic stress and everything going on, your digestion, that's going to shut down. And then you're going to have issues with, it's all going to shut down. And then you're going to have issues that are going, so then your gut's not going to be doing the things it's supposed to. The gut microbiome, things are going to grow that aren't supposed to. Things aren't going to grow that are supposed to. And then it's a cascading effect because everything is all connected. So these are the kind of things that we're going to talk about, because I want you to know these things. I want you, these are things that everybody should know, because there are certain things that, yes, we absolutely need to depend on professionals for. There are certain things, you're going to come to me and say, Jess, I need help with this. Great, I'm going to help you. But when you're done working with me, you're going to have a lot of this knowledge. So I'll be here as a mentor, but you're not going to necessarily need me to fix you. I'm using quotation marks there. So there are times when we need medical doctors for different things, and I'm certainly not knocking that. I'm super glad that they are around when we need them. But there's a lot that we can really handle on our own when we know how to listen to our bodies, how to be more positive about it, and how to give our bodies what they need, give ourselves what we need so that we can thrive. And there's, just so much knowledge there. And little by little, I want to be able to give this to you. So I'm really, really glad that you're here. And if you, stick around, I hope that you want to listen. I hope that you want to tell your friends. And I hope that you just really enjoy. I've got this first series out and I'm really excited. So thank you so much for being here. Go ahead and leave me a comment, subscribe. I'm so excited that you're here. You can find me at deeprootedwellnessid.com. I'm Deep Rooted Wellness on Facebook and Instagram. So reach out, say hello, follow me. And I can't wait to see you inside some of my masterminds and programs, and just wave and say hello. I'm so excited to bring all of this to you. We're going to nourish your roots, and I'm really excited. So welcome to Wellness Blueprints, everybody.